Hello everyone. We see it everywhere online. The alpha mindset. This idea of dominance, of unshakable control, but I've come to see it as a trap. It's a brittle performance. And today, we're going to discuss the alternative. The resilient mind, built on 5 timeless Stoic lessons. Part 1, the alpha mindset, is a trap because it's built on a faulty foundation. It's based on external validation and the perception of others. It demands a constant performance of dominance. This is not strength. It is aburden. It is an exhausting way to live your life. This persona is incredibly brittle. It can be shattered by a single criticism, a single failure, or a single moment of perceived weakness. The alpha myth tells you to control every outcome. It insists that you must dominate your environment and the people within it. This is an impossible task. It wages war against reality itself, setting you up for perpetual frustration and inevitable disappointment. True strength, the kind we're discussing today, isn't about controlling others. It is about the complete mastery of your own inner world. The Stoics understood this thousands of years ago. They built a framework not for dominance, but for unshakable resilience and inner peace. This brings us to our very first lesson, the pivot away from the alpha trap. It is the most fundamental principle of all Stoic thought. This is the dichotomy of control. It is a simply sharp tool for dividing the world into 2 distinct categories. Epictetus said it best: some things are within our power, and some things are not. This simple idea changes everything. What is within our power? Our judgments, our impulses, our desires, our aversions. In short, our own thoughts and our own actions. What is not within our power? Our body, our property, our reputation, our health, the actions of others, and the events of the world. The alpha trap is the endless, frustrating struggle to control what is not in our power. This is the source of all our anxiety. The Stoic, the resilient mind, makes a powerful shift. They focus 100% of their energy only on what is within their power. Their character. You cannot control the economy. You cannot control what someone thinks of you. You cannot control the traffic that makes you late. But you can control how you respond to the economy. You can control how you react to someone's opinion. You can control your patience. This is the definition of true power. It is internal. It cannot be taken from you by anyone or anything. It is yours alone. The alpha seeks to command the external. The Stoic seeks to command the internal. One path leads to anxiety, the other to tranquility. Think of an archer. The alpha archer obsesses over the wind, the target, and winning the prize. They're frantic. The Stoic archer obsesses over their stance, their breathing, their grip, and the quality of their release. The arrow's flight is external. The Stoic's job is to make a perfect shot. Whether it hits the bullseye is ultimately out of their control. The wind may gust. Their good is found in the intention and the action, not the result. This frees them from the tyranny of outcomes. The alpha is crushed by a missed shot. It is a public failure. The Stoic simply prepares for the next shot, focusing on their own process. This first lesson is a profound relief. It allows you to drop the weight of the world, the things you were never meant to carry. You stop wasting energy on things you cannot change. This reclaimed energy is then invested into what you can change. Yourself. Your reputation is not in your control. People will think what they will. The alpha obsesses over this, constantly managing their image. The resilient mind focuses on their character. They focus on being a person of integrity. Their reputation is simply a byproduct. If you are virtuous, you have done your job. If people still speak ill of you, that is their failing, not yours. It is outside your control. This is not passivity. It is strategic precision. It is identifying the correct target for your efforts, which is always your own mind. The alpha needs the world to conform. The Stoic trains their mind to adapt to the world as it is. Which do you think is stronger? A mind that breaks when reality doesn't match its desires, or a mind that accepts reality and works calmly within it? The dichotomy of control is the fortress. Inside its walls are your choices, your will, your judgments. Nothing external can breach it. The Alpha stands outside the fortress, trying to fight the wind and the rain, exposed to every random event, pretending to be in control. It's time to stop performing. It's time to come inside the citadel of your own mind. This is where your true strength lies. This is the first step to building a resilient mind. It is the practice of sorting, moment by moment, what is yours and what is not. When you feel anger or anxiety, ask yourself, what part of this is in my control? Is it the event itself or my judgment? About the event, it is always the judgment. The event is just raw data. The Alpha reacts to the data. The Stoic interprets the data. This gives you a space, a pause, between stimulus and response. In that space lies your freedom and your power. The Alpha is a slave to their reactions. Their buttons are easily pushed. They are predictable. This is not power, it's puppetry. The resilient mind chooses its response. It is calm, deliberate, and free. This is true strength. This first lesson redefines the entire game of life. You are no longer trying to win a game you cannot control. You are now focused on playing your part to the best of your ability. This is a game you can win every single time. It is a shift from outcome orientation to process orientation. Your success is measured by your own virtue, not by the world's applause. The Alpha needs the applause. The resilient mind is content with a quiet, inner knowledge of their own excellence. This is not about being cold or detached. It's about loving the world without being enslaved by it. It's about acting with purpose. You can still pursue goals. You can still build things, but you do so with a light touch, understanding what is truly yours. You pursue the preferred outcome, but you are not broken if you get the unpreferred one. Your calm is not dependent on the result. This is the end of fear. What are you afraid of? Losing things you don't control. Your health, your job, your reputation. You realize you never had them in the first time. They were always external. Kust borowit. Your only possession is your character, and that is something no one can ever take from you. This is the source of Stoic courage. It is the core of resilience. This first lesson is a lifelong practice. It is not a belief, but an action. You must apply it daily, even hourly. It is the filter through which you see the world. Is this mine or not mine? This question is the key. The Alpha trap is noisy. It is full of posturing, anxiety, and a deep-seated fear of being exposed as weak. The Stoic path is quiet. It is solid. It is built on the bedrock of reality and the absolute sovereignty of your own mind. This is the foundation. From this one lesson, all the others flow. It is the gate to the resilient mind. As we move to part 2, we will build on this foundation. We will explore how to handle the things not in our control. We'll learn not just to accept what happens, but to love Italiano. This is the next step in forging your inner citadel. The Alpha fights fate. The Stoic embraces it. This is the difference between a brittle ego and a resilient soul. This first step is the hardest. It requires you to unlearn a lifetime of programming that told you to control everything. But the freedom on the other side is worth the effort. It is the freedom to become, to be virtuous, and to be truly strong. The Dichotomy of Control. It is the first and most powerful lesson from the Stoics. It is the antidote to the Alpha myth. Practice. Notice your thoughts. See where your energy is going. Is it going to externals? Or is it focused on your own choices? Bring your energy back. Reclaim your power. Focus it on your own mind, your own character. This is where the work is done. This is the pivot. From the external to the internal. From the performance of the Alpha to the practice of the Stoic. This is the beginning of building a truly resilient mind. It's not a mindset. It's an operating system for reality. The second great lesson for a resilient mind is Amor Fati. This is a Latin phrase, popularized by Nietzsche, but its roots are purely Stoic. It translates to a love of one's fate. This is not passive resignation. It is an active affirmative embrace of whatever happens. If the first lesson was about separating what we control from what we don't, This lesson is about our attitude toward what we don't control. The alpha mindset resists reality. It rages against setbacks. It sees obstacles as insults to its own perceived power. This resistance is a source of immense suffering. It is a childish tantrum against the nature of the universe. Things will go wrong. The Stoic, practicing Amor Fati, takes a different path. They don't just tolerate what happens. They embrace it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." This is Amor Fati. It is the practice of seeing every event, bad or indifferent, as necessary, as part of the whole. It is understanding that you cannot cherry-pick your life. You cannot have the highs without the risk of the lows. The resilient mind accepts this. It accepts the entirety of life, not just the convenient parts. This is a profound shift. It's not "I'm fine with this." It's "I wanted this to happen." It's treating every event as if you had chosen it yourself. This is an alchemy of the will. It turns even the most painful obstacles into fuel. It turns poison into medicine. The alpha is broken by a setback. The Stoic is strengthened by it, because it is another opportunity to practice virtue. Amor Fati is the ultimate counter to "why me?" The question becomes meaningless. It happened, and therefore it is my path. It is the path. It is not an interruption to the path. This is the crucial distinction. The alpha sees failure as the end. The Stoic sees it as part of the fabric of reality, a chance to show courage or patience. This practice builds an incredible resilience. You are no longer afraid of what might happen, because you have decided to love whatever happens. This is not about ignoring pain or injustice. It is about accepting the fact of it, so you can then act with virtue. You don't control the event, but you control your response. Amor Fati is choosing to respond with acceptance and even gratitude. Gratitude for what? Gratitude for the opportunity to test your character, to build your strength. The alpha's strength depends on things going well. The Stoic's strength is forged when things go badly. This is the power of loving your fate. It makes you antifragile. You don't just survive chaos, you feed on Italiana. This leads us directly to our third lesson, a powerful antidote to the alpha ego. Memento Mori. Remember, you will die. This is not a morbid obsession. It is a tool for radical clarity. The alpha is obsessed with temporary status. They chase fleeting goals. More money, more power, more validation. Memento Mori puts all of this into stark perspective. Remembering your own mortality is the ultimate zoom out. It clarifies what is truly important and what is trivial noise. Steve Jobs called it the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You are already naked. The alpha is terrified of losing their status. The Stoic, remembering death, is free from this fear. This awareness of death doesn't make life meaningless. It makes it infinitely more precious. It makes every moment matter. It strips away the non-essential, all the petty grievances, the anxieties about reputation, the pursuit of empty honors. The Ibanis. What is left? What matters when you face your own mortality? The alpha metrics of followers or bank accounts? Or is it your character? Is it the virtue with which you lived? Is it the kindness you showed? The courage you displayed? Memento Mori is the ultimate motivator for living a life of virtue, right here and now. This is the only time we have. It cures procrastination. Why wait to be a good person? Why wait to live fully? Your time is finite and uncertain. The alpha pursues legacy, an external monument. The Stoic, practicing Memento Mori, focuses on their present actions. Their legacy is not a name on a building. It is the virtuous impact they have on the world, moment by moment. This isn't about live fast, die young. It's about live well, for you will die. It's about intention and purpose. It is a call to action. Do not waste this day. Do not waste this moment. Be the person you want to be, now. The thought of death is a companion, an advisor. It sits on your shoulder and whispers, is this truly important? Is this virtuous? This practice crushes the ego. The alpha ego is inflated, desperate for attention. It thinks it is the center of the universe. Memento Mori reminds you that you are a small part of a vast cosmos, here for a fleeting instant. This is a profound liberation. You stop taking yourself so seriously. You can laugh at your own setbacks. You can be humble. This humility is a source of true strength. The Alpha's arrogance is a weakness, a brittle shell covering deep insecurity. The Stoic's humility is a source of connection. It allows them to see others as fellow mortals, all facing the same fate. It fosters compassion and empathy, qualities the Alpha performance often forbids. Strength and kindness are not opposites. In fact, the Stoics would argue that true strength requires kindness and justice. This is a core part of virtue. So, we have Amor Fati, love what happens, and Memento Mori, remember it all ends. These two work together. Love your fate, because it is all you have, and remember your death, so you live that fate with virtue and urgency. These are not mindsets. They are active, daily practices. They are tools for the resilient mind. The Alpha builds a prison of ego. The Stoic, using these tools, achieves a state of profound inner freedom. They are free from the fear of outcomes, Amor Fati, and free from the fear of triviality. Memento Mori. This is a deep, quiet power. It doesn't need to announce itself. It doesn't need to dominate anyone. It is the power of a mind at peace with reality. This is the goal of the Stoic path. This is the resilience that Alpha culture can never offer. It's the difference between a costume and your own skin. As who move to. Our fourth and most important lesson is this. Virtue is the sole good. This is the absolute core of the Stoic framework. This idea is the most radical departure from the Alpha mindset and from most modern definitions of success. The Alpha mindset chases externals. It chases wealth, status, dominance, and the respect of others. The Stoics call all of these things indifference. They're not good, and they're not bad. They're just ... external. Why? Because they are not fully in our control, lesson uno, and because they can be used for good or for evil. Money can be used to build a hospital or to fund a war. Reputation can be earned for virtuous deeds or for cruelty. Therefore, these things have no intrinsic moral value. They are not good in themselves. They are just tools. The only thing that is truly good, according to the Stoics, is a virtuous character. This is the sole good. This is a revolutionary idea. It means your success in life is not measured by your bank account, your job title, or your social media following. It is measured only by the quality of your character, by your internal state. The Alpha is obsessed with having good things. The Stoic is obsessed with being a good person. This is the ultimate source of resilience. Why? Because your character is the one thing that is 100% in your control. No one can force you to be unjust. No tyrant can force you to be a coward. No misfortune can force you to be unkind. Your virtue is your fortress. It is the one thing you can never lose, unless you choose to give it away. So, what is this virtue? The Stoics broke it down into 4 cardinal virtues. They are all interconnected. The first is wisdom. This is the ability to see the world clearly, to know what is good, what is bad, and what is indifferent. It is the wisdom of the Dichotomy of Control. It is the wisdom of Amor Fati and Memento Mori. It is the logic of the resilient mind. The Alpha often mistakes cleverness or cunning for wisdom. But wisdom is a moral quality. It is knowing how to live well. The second virtue is justice. This is not just about laws. This is about fairness, kindness, and goodwill towards all of humanity. The Stoics saw all people as part of a single cosmic whole. We are all brothers and sisters. We are here to help each other. The Alpha mindset is inherently selfish. It is about me versus them. It is about dominance over others. The Stoic mindset is communal. It is about us. True strength is used in service of justice and the common good. The third virtue is courage. This is not the absence of fear. It is the ability to act virtuously despite fear. It is the courage to stand by your principles, the courage to speak the truth, the courage to face misfortune without complaint. The alpha's courage is often just reckless posturing. It's performance. Stoic courage is a quiet, inner resolve. It is the courage to be kind when others are cruel. The courage to be honest when it's easier to lie. The fourth virtue is temperance, or moderation. This is the virtue of self-control, discipline, and balance. It is the mastery of your own desires and appetites. It is freedom from the slavery of addiction or impulse. The alpha often preaches a form of discipline, but it's usually for an external goal, to get a certain body, or to make more money. Stoic temperance is a virtue in itself. It is the state of a mind that is not ruled by its passions, but rules over them. Wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. These four virtues are the blueprint for the resilient mind. They are the sole good. Living by these is the only goal. Everything else is a bonus. If you are virtuous, you have succeeded in life. Even if you are poor, unknown, or unlucky in your external circumstances. This redefines success. It takes all power away from the external world and places it firmly in your own hands. The alpha is a slave to outcomes. The Stoic is a master of their own character. This is not a passive life. The Stoics were senators, playwrights, emperors, and teachers. They were deeply involved in the world, but they acted from a place of virtue. Their goal was not to get something, but to do the right thing. They would pursue wealth, but not if it cost them their justice. They would accept status, but not if it cost them their humility. Their inner virtue was their non-negotiable. Everything else was just a preferred indifferent. This is the ultimate resilience. When your entire sense of self-worth comes from your own character, what can the world do to you? It can take your job, but it cannot take your wisdom. It can take your freedom, but it cannot take your courage. It can harm your body, but it cannot touch your character. This is the unshakable inner citadel. The alpha, by contrast, is terrified. Their entire identity is built on externals, on indifference. If they lose their money, their status, or their youthful looks, their alpha identity crumbles. They have nothing left. The Stoic, in that same situation, is fine. Because the sole good their virtue remains intact, they are still a good person. This is the promise of Stoicism. Not a life free from pain, but a life where pain cannot destroy your core. It is a life of purpose. Your purpose is simple: to be the best human being you can be, in whatever circumstance you find yourself. This is a purpose that no one can stop you from achieving. It is available to you in this very moment. This is the true power that the alpha mindset only pretends to have. It is the power of a virtuous, resilient, and free soul. The practice is to ask yourself, in any situation, what is the virtuous path? What would wisdom do? What would justice do? What would courage demand? What would temperance require? This becomes your compass. It guides every action, every decision. It is the operating system for the resilient mind. The alpha asks, what's in it for me? How can I win? The Stoic asks, what is the right thing to do? This is a profound pivot. It is the shift from a life of taking to a life of being. This is the heart of the matter. This is lesson 4. Virtue is the sole good. With this in mind, we can move to our final lesson. How do we use the challenges of life, the things we don't control? How do we turn those external events into opportunities to practice this very virtue? This is the final piece of the puzzle. This is where all the lessons come together in practice. This brings us to our 5th and final lesson, the one that ties all the others together. The obstacle is the way. This idea was perfectly captured by Marcus Aurelius. He wrote that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This is the ultimate alchemy of the resilient mind. The alpha mindset sees an obstacle as a roadblock, a failure, a sign of weakness. It is something to be smashed or avoided. The Stoic mind sees the obstacle completely differently. It sees it as an opportunity For what? An opportunity to practice virtue, the soul good we just discussed. The obstacle is not in the way. The obstacle is the way. This is a profound reversal of perspective. Let's break this down. You face a difficult, unjust boss at work. This is an external. You do not control their behavior. The alpha might try to dominate them, or quit in a rage, or suffer in silence while their ego is bruised. The Stoic sees this differently. The unjust boss is an opportunity to practice virtue. It is an opportunity to practice patience, temperance. It is an opportunity to practice fairness in your own dealings, justice. It is an opportunity to practice courage by speaking up calmly and rationally. It is an opportunity to practice wisdom by seeing the situation clearly, without letting your emotions hijack your judgment. The boss is the way. They are your training partner for virtue. They are the fire that forges your character. This applies to everything. A traffic jam is not a disaster. It's a chance to practice patience. A sudden illness is not a catastrophe. It's a chance to practice courage and acceptance. Amor Fati. A harsh criticism is not an insult. It's a chance to practice wisdom, separating any truth from the malice. This reframes every single negative event in your life. Nothing is bad anymore. It is just ... material. It is material for the fire of your virtue, as Marcus Aurelius said. You can use everything. This is the ultimate power. The alpha needs a smooth path to feel strong. The Stoic gets stronger from the rough path. The obstacle is the way. This is Amor Fati in action. You don't just accept the obstacle. You use it. You welcome it as a chance to be your best self. This is how you build a truly resilient mind. You are no longer a victim of your circumstances. You are an alchemist who turns lead into gold. This is the active practice. This is how you combine all 5 lessons into a single, cohesive philosophy for living. Let's review these 5 lessons. The 5 pillars of the resilient mind. The Stoic alternative to the brittle alpha trap. First, the dichotomy of control. We separate what is ours, our choices, from what is not, everything else. We stop wasting energy on externals and focus all our power on our own character. This is the foundation of our inner citadel. Second, Amor Fati. We love our fate. We don't just accept what happens. We embrace it as necessary and part of our path. We remove all resistance to reality, freeing ourselves from anger and disappointment. We choose to want what happens. Third, Memento Mori. We remember our death. This gives us clarity, humility, and urgency. It strips away the trivial, the ego, and the fear, forcing us to focus on what truly matters in our limited time. Fourth, virtue is the soul good. This is our goal. Our success is measured only by our character. We pursue wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. Above all else, this is our non-negotiable. And fifth, the obstacle is the way. We use every challenge, every setback, as fuel. We see problems not as barriers, but as opportunities to practice our virtue. This is how we grow stronger. This is the framework. This is the operating system for the resilient mind. It is a complete pivot from the alpha myth. The alpha mindset is external, brittle, anxious, and selfish. It is a performance based on fear. The Stoic framework is internal, resilient, calm, and communal. It is a practice based on virtue. One is a house of cards, easily toppled by the slightest breeze of misfortune. The other is a fortress, an inner citadel that cannot be breached by anything the world throws at it. This is not easy. It is called a practice for a reason. It requires daily effort. You will fail. You will forget. You will get angry. You will get attached to externals. That's okay. The practice is to notice and to gently, without judgment, return to these principles. Return to the dichotomy of control. Return to loving your fate. Return to your virtue. This is the work. It is the most important work you will ever do. It is the work of building your own soul. It's not a mindset. A mindset is just a belief. This is a system. It is a way of life. It's a way of moving through the world with quiet strength, with purpose, and with an unshakable inner peace. This is the resilient mind. This is the true strength that the Alpha can only pretend to have. It is available to every single one of us. It doesn't require money, status, or power. It only requires your will, your choice, your commitment to becoming the best version of yourself. So, the choice is yours. The brittle, anxious performance of the Alpha, or the quiet, solid resilience of the Stoic. This is the pivot. From shadow to substance, from a performance to a practice. It is the path to inner freedom. It is the path to a good life, no matter what that life looks like on the outside. This is the power of philosophy, not as an academic subject, but as a guide to living, a guide to building a mind that is not just strong, but resilient, not just powerful, but virtuous. This is the alternative, the real alternative, the resilient mind. This is the path forward. It's a path of substance over shadow. It's about building something real inside yourself that no one can ever take away. This is the true meaning of strength. This is the Stoic alternative. This is the resilient mind. This is the end of the trap. This is the beginning of your freedom. Thank you. This is the foundation of the resilient mind. It's not about projecting power, but about cultivating an unshakable inner citadel. It's that quiet, solid strength. Thank you so much for joining me for this discussion. It's a pivot from the usual noise online, but I feel it's a vital one. It's a conversation I've wanted to have for a while. What are your thoughts? Do you see the Alpha trend as a trap? Have you found personal value in Stoic principles? I'd love to read your perspective in the comments below. I learn as much from this community as you do from me, so let's talk about it. I'll see you in the next video. Stay strong and stay virtuous.